When I was 17, a fortune teller gave me a pair of jade bracelets. He said a great disaster awaited me. If I could survive it, I'd live to be 100. If not, I would die a sudden, violent death. But on the night I turned 18, I died anyway. My mother swapped my jade bracelets, giving the real ones to her precious favorite, my sister. Afraid Dad would find out, they buried me still breathing in the backyard of our villa, leaving me to suffocate. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day I met the fortune teller. But this time, I wasn't the only one who received a pair. 1. Clutching my mouth and nose, I felt a shockwave go through me. I almost believed everything that just happened was a nightmare. As Mom and my sister, Chloe, piled dirt on top of me, layer by layer, despair filled my heart. That overwhelming fear and sense of betrayal washed over me again, consuming me right here, right now. I gasped for air, my throat feeling blocked, making it hard to breathe. Lily? Lily! Suddenly, the shout snapped my hazy mind back to reality. Only then did I see my surroundings clearly. My family was standing inside a spiritual center, and the fortune teller, Mr. Evans, was sitting in front of me. What has gotten into you all of a sudden? I called your name. Why didn't you answer? Dad scolded me. My face pale, I studied Mr. Evans before me. His hair was white as snow, yet his face was young. Those dark eyes seemed to see right through you. He smiled, and I shivered looking away. Seeing me obediently put on the jade bracelets, Dad finally asked, Mr. Evans, if my older daughter can't escape this disaster you mentioned, what will happen to her? Will it affect the company? I froze, lowering my head even further. Just like last time, Dad's first concern was the company, not me. I always knew that in his eyes, Chloe and I were just tools for paving the company's way. He decontrolled every aspect of our lives since we were kids. He had the housekeeper monitor everything we ate. He sent bodyguards to follow us to school and log every classmate we spoke to. Once, just because I talked to Alex, a scholarship kid and the class president, Dad dragged me to the basement and beat me viciously. He screamed that talking to commoners was a slap in his face. My calves were covered in red welts. I collapsed on the floor, unable to stand. Mom just watched coldly, showing no reaction at all. Before leaving the basement, Dad warned me. If there's a next time, I'll marry you off to the first person I find. Got it? After that, I lay on the floor, tears streaming down my face, and spent the night alone in the basement. It was that night I realized I had no family, no real affection. The family I longed for never existed. Once I understood that, I stopped expecting anything from my parents. Instead, I learned to play the part, acting perfectly obedient in front of Dad and constantly giving in to my sister. Thinking about the past, I grabbed the corner of a nearby table and took a breath. When I came to my senses, I saw Dad's furrowed brow relax. Mr. Evans told Dad that as long as I wore the jade bracelets properly, everything would be fine. Chloe's face was etched with disappointment. She couldn't stand seeing anything good happen to me. Remembering being buried alive by Mom and Chloe last time, my expression turned cold. Is this Mr. Lynn's younger daughter? Mr. Evans suddenly spoke. Chloe looked flustered at being singled out. She glanced at Mr. Evans, then blushed and nodded. After a moment, his expression grew serious. Mr. Lynn, he said slowly, I'm afraid your younger daughter, just like your elder, will face a great disaster on her 18th birthday. If she survives it, she'll live to be 100. If not, she will die a sudden, violent death. 2. The moment he finished speaking, everyone stared at Mr. Evans in disbelief. Only my eyebrow twitched, my heart pounding. Because last time, I was the only one who heard those words. Why had it become both of us this time? While I stood there stunned, Mom had already rushed up to Mr. Evans. She said anxiously, Mr. Evans, what do you mean by that? My daughter is perfectly fine. How could she die suddenly? Did you make a mistake? She held Chloe's arm tightly, her face full of concern. But Mr. Evans had just said the exact same thing about me, and she hadn't reacted at all. Dad was silent for a moment before speaking. Mr. Evans, then what should we do? Mr. Evans took out a box from a compartment under his table. Inside was a pair of jade bracelets identical to the ones on my wrist. He replied calmly, Simply have your younger daughter wear these bracelets through her 18th birthday, and she will overcome this disaster. Mom hurriedly put the jade bracelets on Chloe. Mr. Evans, will this really be enough? Don't we need to do anything else? Please. You have to save my daughter. Seeing her completely different reaction compared to last time, I looked down at the emerald green bracelets on my wrist. Back then, she treated Mr. Evans' words as a joke. When we got home, she teased Lily, don't be scared. What Mr. Evans said is all nonsense. This is a scientific age. How could someone just drop dead? Then, her eyes lit up as she stared at my bracelets. Also, Mom needs to talk to you about something. Your sister really likes these bracelets. You know she hasn't been feeling well, and this jade would be perfect for her. Just give them to her, okay? Hearing that, my heart ached. Mom had favored Chloe for over a decade, and now, even the one thing that might save my life, she wanted me to give it away. No, Mr. Evans said they're mine. I want to give them to Chloe. I refused and Mom got angry. She said coldly, fine, don't give them to her. So selfish. What's wrong with letting your sick sister wear them? With that, she shot me a glare and didn't speak to me for 3 whole months. But I never expected they'd keep coveting my bracelets, and that it would ultimately lead to my death. Looking at Mom's anxious face now, I laughed mockingly to myself. So, it wasn't that she didn't believe Mr. Evans, she just didn't care about me. A dull ache spread through my chest, like an iceberg crushing me. I clutched my heart, feeling cold and breathless. But no one cared. No one noticed anything was wrong with me. Only after Mr. Evans reassured her multiple times did Mom finally calm down. Dad left the spiritual center with an ugly expression, leaving Mom, Chloe, and me behind. The private car arrived and stopped at the entrance. Mom helped Chloe, blocking my way. Lily, look, your sister got a fright and isn't feeling well. Just let her lie down in the back seat, and you can walk home. It's not far anyway. A walk will be good exercise for you. Chloe shot me a triumphant look, then pretended to be sick and leaned back in the car. Before I could agree, she slammed the door shut. Watching the car drive away, I slowly lowered my head. I stared at my toes, my heart a mess of emotions. Boom. A sudden clap of thunder echoed through the sky. Scattered raindrops started hitting the ground, soaking my thin white shirt. Instantly, a feeling of loneliness and helplessness engulfed me. I watched the raindrops create ripples in the puddles, my miserable reflection staring back at me. Only when tears mixed with the rain and streamed down my face did it truly hit me. It felt real. I was really reborn. And in my past life, my mother and sister had killed me. 3. By the time I got back to the villa, the sun had already set. In the huge living room, only the kitchen light was on. Maria, the housekeeper, was in the kitchen washing dishes. They had already finished dinner and cleared the table. Maria looked surprised to see me. Miss, you're back. Then it hit her. Miss, your mother didn't say you'd be home for dinner, so I didn't save any food for you. Forgotten by Mom again. But I was used to it. I gave her a silent nod, grabbed a few slices of bread, and headed upstairs to my room. Chloe's room was also on the 2nd floor. As I passed by, her light was on, and the door was slightly ajar. I heard her laughing inside. Mia, you won't believe who I saw today. I met the famous Mr. Evans. Seriously, he is hotter than any celebrity on TV. I paused, peeking through the crack in the door. Chloe was sitting on her bed with her back to me, fiddling with the bracelets. What did he say? Oh, nothing much. He just suddenly gave me these jade bracelets and said I have to wear them until my 18th birthday. She snorted and continued, and guess what else he said? That if I don't wear them, I'll drop dead on my 18th birthday night. Ha 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 ha. Can you believe anyone falls for that crap? It's obviously just a scam to sell jade, but my mom totally freaked out. She paused. It's a shame though. A guy that good-looking resorting to scams. Suddenly, her hand slipped, and she fumbled the bracelet she tossed in the air. Crash! The jade bracelet hit the floor and shattered into pieces. She jumped up in panic and saw me standing behind the door. Lily? She called out. Then a cunning smile spread across her face. Looking at her, my stomach dropped. I had a bad feeling. Every time she smiled like that, she was about to stir up trouble, just for fun. Sure enough, She suddenly screamed, "Mom! Come quick! Look, Lily broke my bracelet!" Hurried footsteps approached. Mom rushed upstairs, pushed me aside, and stormed into the bedroom. Seeing the shattered bracelet, she yelled, "How did this break? Chloe, what happened?" Chloe put on a wronged expression and pointed at me. It was Lily. She barged in and startled me. Then the bracelet fell and broke. "Mom, what are we going to do? These bracelets must cost like $10,000 each." "What?" Mom whipped her head around, her eyes shooting daggers at me. I clenched my fists and looked her straight in the eye. I didn't scare her. Mom took a few steps closer. "You didn't?" "Then how did the bracelet break?" "Lily, how dare you lie?" She accused me. Every word a stab to my heart. Not backing down, I clenched my jaw. "I told you, I didn't." "It wasn't me. Why wouldn't you listen to?" Before I could finish, she raised her hand and slapped me hard across the right cheek. The force knocked me off balance, and I stumbled back a few steps. "You mess up and you dare stare at me like that? Lily, you did this on purpose, didn't you? You want to harm your sister, just like when you were kids. You were happy when the fortune teller said your sister might die, weren't you?" I clutched my stinging red cheek, lowered my head, and said nothing. So she still held a grudge against me for what happened when I was 10. When I was 10, Mom was always going out, leaving me and Chloe with Maria. But Chloe was mischievous. One day, she was playing alone in the backyard and something happened. She tried to climb the wall to go play outside and fell from the nearly 7-foot-high wall. She hit her head. Blood pooled on the grass. Maria and I panicked and called an ambulance. What happened? Why did Chloe fall off the wall? Mom rushed to the hospital and slapped Maria across the face. "And you?" She turned to me, her lips trembling. "Didn't I tell you to watch your sister? Why weren't you watching her? What am I going to tell your father now that she's hurt?" I knew she was scared of Dad. Chloe's surgery was successful, but Mom couldn't escape Dad's beating. Dad locked her in the basement and beat her until she was covered in blood. After Dad left, I felt sorry for her and helped her out of the basement, only to be shoved violently to the ground. "Don't touch me, you little monster. If you had watched your sister like you were supposed to, would I have gotten beaten like this? Get out. I don't want to see you." Mama's bloodshot eyes stunned me. I didn't understand what I had done wrong to deserve such hatred. It was Chloe who was being naughty, it was Mom who wasn't doing her job. But no one could answer my questions. From that day on, Mama's favoritism towards Chloe became extreme, as if Chloe was her only daughter. But I never imagined Mom could be so cruel as to bury me alive with Chloe's help. A chill washed over me. Seeing me stand there silently, Mom stopped cursing. She suddenly grabbed my wrist. "Since you're the reason your sister lost her bracelets, you'll give yours to her." She yanked the bracelets off my wrist and handed them to Chloe. "Just looking at you is bad luck. Now get out of your sister's room." Staring at the glowing green bracelets, I gave a cold smile and slowly walked out. Behind me, Mom kept comforting Chloe while cursing me. I closed the door, shut my eyes tightly and laughed. "Since you love these bracelets so much, you can have them. I won't be a fool and let you push me around like before." The real jade bracelets? I hid them a long time ago. 5. The weekend ended, and it was time to go back to school. We attended a private international school filled with rich kids. Chloe, a master of disguise, acted like a delicate, innocent flower in public and was quite popular. She walked into the classroom wearing the fake jade bracelets, and people immediately flocked to her. "Chloe, are those the bracelets Mr. Evans gave you? That's amazing. Mr. Evans is so famous he's booked solid. My dad can't even get an appointment. Your family's company must be really powerful." Bang. The door flew open. Leo Shaw walked in, and everyone else scrambled out of his way. He shot me a disgusted look and put his arm around Chloe's shoulder. "Chloe, what were you talking about that sounded so fun? Care to share?" Chloe shrugged his arm off. "Leo, don't do that, people are watching. We don't want them gossiping. You're my sister's fiancé, remember?" Leo's face darkened. "That's right. Leo was the fiancé Dad had chosen for me, but the one he liked was my sister." He scoffed. Ha, who would say anything? Besides, we're not married yet. Nothing is set in stone. Who dares talk about me? He put his hand on Chloe's waist. I wish I was marrying you, Chloe. I'll talk to my father again. He whispered softly in her ear. Anyone watching would think I was the one keeping them apart. But he didn't know that Chloe couldn't care less about him. A few months ago, I was supposed to be engaged to Ethan, the eldest son of the Song family. Chloe was supposed to be with Leo's younger brother. But how could a younger brother compare to the eldest heir? When Chloe found out, she complained to Mom. Mom, Ethan and I like each other. Why is Lily his fiancée? I won't he accept it? Mom, can't you talk to Dad? She begged, clutching Mama's hand. Mom looked troubled. After a moment she replied, Chloe, you know your father. Once he decides something, he never changes his mind. Leo's younger brother is a good guy too. You know his dad dotes on him. Mom, what are you saying? You think it's okay for me to marry that B-list younger brother? No. I won't he marry him. She screamed like a maniac, slammed the door, and left. Somehow, she managed to hook up with Ethan, even getting the Song family to request a change in the engagement. I didn't find out how until I ran into Ethan's sister, Sophia. It turned out Chloe had climbed into Ethan's bed herself, and the whole Song family caught them in the act. 6. I stared at Leo like he was an idiot. He noticed my gaze and yelled, "What's that look supposed to mean?" He raised his hand as if to hit me, but stopped after a few seconds. Lily, you should thank me. I don't hit women. Oh well, thank you so much for your chivalry. Leo, I'm just trying to be nice and tell you, don't waste your time. My dad will never let you two be together. He raised an eyebrow. Why not? I leaned in closer and whispered, let me tell you a little secret. My sister has already given herself to Ethan. They sealed the deal. He froze. Chloe nervously tugged at Leo's arm. Lily, what did you say? Leo looks. He whipped around and stared intently into Chloe's eyes. How could you? Chloe, didn't you say you loved me most? How could you have slept with that bastard Ethan? He shook her shoulders. Chloe's face turned white as a sheet. Her pupils contracted as she glanced around. Everyone was shocked. Leo W., what are you talking about? Don't say such things. Who told you that? She panicked. Then after a moment, realization dawned, and she glared at me. It was you. You must have made it up. Lily, are you trying to steal Ethan from me? I just smiled at her. So much for the shy, innocent flower. More like a banshee. I grabbed a lock of her hair and whispered, Chloe, looks like you just admitted it yourself. She froze and looked around. I gritted my teeth. Let us see you act innocent now. Chloe ended up running home in tears. Her true colors exposed. Everyone was talking about how manipulative she was. Not only did she scheme her way into Ethan's bed, but she was also playing games with Leo. Lily, that's your sister. Look what you've done. Now our family's shame is public. What will people say when they find out I raised a daughter like this? He slapped me hard across the face. I stood there motionless. And you? He turned on Mom. Look at the daughter you raised. Flirting with everyone. Mama's face flushed red as she glared at me angrily. After a moment, she tried to explain, well, Ethan and Chloe really liked each other. You can't blame her for that. If Lily hadn't said anything, it wouldn't have blown up like this. I shot Mom an icy look and wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth. Here we go again. This woman practically wishes I were dead. Just as Dad was about to explode again, his phone rang. The Song family was calling off the engagement. 7. The Song family was one of the most prominent business families in the city. They had at least 10 joint projects with our Lin group. Because of this whole mess, all those projects fell apart. Dad came home that night furious, smashing things in the living room with a golf club. Vases and porcelain worth thousands of dollars were shattered. He was so busy with the company crisis that he didn't even have time to punish Chloe or me. We both dodged a bullet. But Mom wasn't so lucky. With projects being cancelled and funds withdrawn, an audit revealed that $10 million in company funds were missing. It was my Uncle Mom's brother who had embezzled the money. You shameless woman. It was generous enough of me to let your good-for-nothing brother work at the company. And he dared to embezzle company funds. Don't you know how tight money is right now? Find your brother, now, or I'm divorcing you. Mom dropped to her knees, her legs trembling, wringing her hands and begging. I didn't know. I really didn't know he would do something like that. Richard, I really didn't know. Please forgive me. The golf club came down. Blood splattered on the floor. A gash opened on Mama's head. Chloe screamed, covered her head, and collapsed onto the sofa. Mom clutched her head and crawled to Dad's feet, grabbing his pant leg. Richard, I really don't know where my brother is. Don't divorce me. If you divorce me, I'll have nowhere to go. She begged pitifully, but Dad didn't respond. She turned her gaze to Chloe. Chloe, say something for Mom, please. Mom really can't get divorced. She sobbed. Chloe shrank back as if she'd seen a ghost. Mom's eyes went vacant with disappointment. After a long silence, Dad finally spoke. Let us get a divorce. Having a wife like you is the worst luck I've had in 8 lifetimes. You can't raise children, and your family is nothing but trouble. Sign the papers and get out. Dad was one of the top 10 richest men in the city. His divorce was big news. The news reported that the reason for the divorce was my uncle's embezzlement and Mom's failure to report it, leading Dad to file for divorce out of disappointment. As reporters dug deeper, stories emerged painting Mom as a wicked woman. One rumor claimed that a year ago Mom, fearing Dad's young secretary was getting too close, had her kidnapped. The secretary was found 3 months later in Myanmar. When they found her, she'd been tortured beyond recognition. Mom was branded as malicious, and her reputation was ruined. Dad even responded publicly online, saying he would take care of the secretary's family, offer compensation, and claimed he had no idea what Mom had done. After the divorce drama settled down, my 18th birthday quickly approached. Early in the morning, I stared blankly at the date on my phone screen. October 9th, 9 a.m. I had finally reached the day I died in my past life. With the company in turmoil and the divorce, my birthday party was the perfect opportunity for Dad to shore up his social connections. Since my engagement to Leo hadn't been officially canceled, he was expected to attend. That evening, many important people arrived. The hall was bustling. I stood in a corner, observing. Why are you standing here all alone? It's your birthday. Leo appeared silently beside me. I ignored him, staring at the wine glass in my hand. Are you still mad at me about last time? I was wrong then. I didn't even know I was being played, Lily. We're going to be engaged soon. You don't always have to look so miserable. You should smile more. A small smile touched my lips. I turned to look at him. Thanks for the advice, Leo. But you're not my husband yet. How I act isn't really your business, is it? I paused, then added, speaking of which, where's your little innocent flower? Aren't you usually trailing her? Why not today? You. His face turned dark. He slammed his wine glass down on the table and stormed off. Just then, a scream came from the direction of my bedroom upstairs. I narrowed my eyes and looked at the clock. It was exactly midnight. The time I died in my past life. 8. A crowd surged up to the second floor, peering into my bedroom. The rug inside was soaked a deep red with blood. Someone I didn't recognize was lying on it. A shattered wine glass lay beside them, red wine slowly mixing with the blood. Ah. Someone's dead. What happened? Isn't that Ethan song? My heart lurched. Only then did I get a clear look at the dead man's face. His eyes were wide open in death, blood trickling from their corners, his mouth and his nostrils. He'd been poisoned. The police arrived, and I was considered the prime suspect. Everyone was whispering, wondering why Ethan would be in my bedroom at midnight. The Shaw family also suspected I had something going on with Ethan. Members of several families were sitting on the living room sofa, but Chloe was nowhere to be seen. Whereas Chloe? Dad's face grew grave. You're the main suspect right now. Why are you worried about your sister instead of yourself? Lily, Ethan's death had better have nothing to do with you, or decades of my hard work will be ruined because of you. I touched my chin. Of course, I need to find her. This involves her too, doesn't it? The police focused on me, all eyes turning in my direction. I sneered. Didn't Ethan and my sister already seal the deal? And her room is right next to mine. Don't you think it's possible that Ethan, visiting our house for the first time, might have gone into the wrong room? I uncrossed my legs, sat up straight, and scanned everyone in the room. I suspect Ethan wasn't heading for my room, but for Chloe's. As for who put that glass of wine in my room, I can find out. I fell into this trap last time. Did they think I wouldn't prepare? Setting up a hidden camera in my room was the easiest thing in the world. I handed the video footage to the police. As the video played, Dad's face turned pale. Everyone else watched intently. At 11 o'clock, a slender figure, about 5'5" and dressed all in black, entered my room. She placed a glass of red wine on my desk. Then she took something out and dropped it into the glass. Dad was stunned. The figure looked exactly like Chloe. It's over. It's all over, Dad muttered, holding his head. Everyone understood the truth. 10 minutes later, the police brought Chloe downstairs in handcuffs. Her eyes were empty, her mind gone. She kept shouting, "I didn't mean to, I just wanted him to come find me. That way he could prove we were together." Chloe's crazed appearance startled everyone. Suddenly, she looked at me and screamed, "Why wasn't it you who died? Lily, why didn't you go back to your room? Why weren't you the one who drank that wine? Why didn't you drop dead? I took your jade bracelets. You should be dead." As she struggled, the fake jade bracelets she was holding fell to the ground, and she crushed them under her foot. Staring at the mess on the floor, I suddenly understood. Maybe that was the real reason I died last time. 9. The news reported that my sister tried to poison me at my own birthday party. People started digging online, uncovering Chloe's dark side. It came out that she cheated on her grades. Videos circulated online showing her buying test papers from classmates. "Remember to help me cheat, or else even the teachers are on my side," she said in one video, her arrogant laughter caught on tape. The school immediately launched an investigation, rounding up and questioning everyone involved. Dad's company faced a crisis, hit hard by boycotts due to the negative press. After Ethan's death, Dad was sued and ended up losing 90% of his company shares as compensation. The Shaw family also called off the engagement. In everyone's eyes, we were finished. A seal was placed on the villa's gate. It was set to be auctioned off the next day. Maria was fired. Only Dad and I were left. Dad sat on the living room sofa, head in his hands. "It's all over. Everything's gone. I have nothing left." His roar echoed through the living room. That evening, the police came back. Their car parked outside. They were there to arrest Dad. A rival company had reported him for illegal business practices. I went from a rich heiress to a commoner overnight, but I was actually happy. I sold my jewelry and bags, moved into a small, run-down apartment, and started living on my own. In the morning, people at school looked at me strangely. They were probably wondering why I still dared to show my face after everything that had happened to my family. No one dared to talk to me all morning. During lunch break, Alex walked over. He approached me despite the curious stares. "Here." He handed me a yogurt drink. I stared at it, confused. He paused, then added, "Thank you for before." It clicked. He was talking about his grandmother. A few months ago, I had helped him when his grandmother was sick. I didn't just help pay for her hospital bills and surgery, I also helped him pay off his debts. "What are you doing?" "Get lost." Leo's tall figure loomed over Alex and me. He shot Alex a disgusted glare. I nodded to Alex. He gave me a worried look and went back to his seat. "Lily, you actually dared to come to school? Let us see if you're still as arrogant as you used to be." When I didn't say anything, he continued, "Oh yeah, I heard your villa was auctioned off. Where are you living now? Some dump where the commoners live? What? You want me to do you a favor and get you an apartment? Of course, there are conditions." Leo leaned in, looking me over. "If you call me honey right now, maybe I'll talk to my grandpa about letting you move in as my side piece." He gently placed his hand over mine. 10. I yanked my hand away. "Ha, Leo, have you no shame?" I took out a handkerchief and wiped my hand. You think you're worthy?" His face turned green with anger. Just as he was about to speak, I cut him off. "Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention. My phone has been recording this whole time. So, Do you want me to post this and have you end up like my sister? Or are you going to get out of this classroom right now? He was taken aback by my sharp gaze. After a moment, he chose to leave. Fine. Lily, let us see how long you can last. I'm waiting for the day you come crawling to me. The college entrance exams ended, and summer break began. I found a job at a coffee shop to support myself. My days were packed, working from early morning till late at night. Today, I worked the late shift. It was already 10 p.m. when I clocked out. As I left through the back alley, someone blocked my path. Please, kind person, spare some food. I haven't eaten in 3 days. A woman in rags was begging. She was covered in sores. The alley was dark. It wasn't until the moon peeked out from behind the clouds that I saw her face. This beggar, it was my mother. How had she ended up a beggar on the street? Her eyes lit up as if she'd found her savior. Lily. It's you, Lily. It's me, Mom. She clapped her hands and grinned, a foul stench hitting me. This is great, just great. I couldn't find you after the villa was sold. Heaven must have taken pity on me and shown me the way. Lily, Mama's hungry. Take me out for a nice meal. Seeing her delighted expression, I laughed coldly. It seemed she'd forgotten how she treated me. Remembering how I died full of hatred, I clenched my fists. I shouted, Mayam, I don't know you. Please move, you're blocking my way. She stood there, stunned. Lily, I'm your mother. I carried you for 10 months. I raised you, and now you're abandoning me. You can't be like this. I stopped and turned, staring hard at her. Raised me through hardship? Have I lost my memory? I don't seem to recall that. Did you forget how you treated me because of Chloe? Stealing my bracelets, neglecting me my whole life. And now you have the nerve to ask me to support you. Dream on. I wouldn't care if you dropped dead right here. I threw the leftover bread crusts from the coffee shop at her. Here, this garbage should last you a few days. Consider it my good deed for the day. I walked away without looking back, ignoring the piercing, regretful cries behind me. The exam scores came out. 2 students from our school got into Ivy League universities. One was Alex, and the other was me. The news that I got into an Ivy League caused a stir. Some people even suspected I cheated and reported me. But they didn't know. I'd seen those exam questions before. It was easy for me. Wearing my jade bracelets, I returned to school one last time. The way my classmates looked at me had changed completely, from contempt to admiration. After school, a black car pulled up in front of me. Mr. Shaw Sr. and Leo were in the back seat. Lily, we meet again. I'm an old man. I just want to talk. You'll give an old man that courtesy, won't you? We went to a restaurant. Leo sat beside me. I sat silently, looking at Mr. Shaw Sr., with his white hair and cane. Lily, I hear you got into an Ivy League school? The Lin family must have done something right to have such an impressive daughter. I took a sip of tea and smiled. Not really, just lucky. After I said that, I sat in silence. Mr. Shaw Sr. leaned back. Lily, I came today to talk about you and Leo's engagement. My heart went cold. I glanced at Leo, who was sweating beside me. Engagement? Wasn't our engagement called off long ago? Mr. Shaw, you must be joking. He seemed to have expected my answer. Lily, the Shaw family was in the wrong before. But we are powerful. We can support you. Won't you reconsider? The private room fell silent again. I smiled brightly at Leo. Marrying into the Shaw family, it's not impossible. But first, have Leo kneel before me. Then I might consider it. What? Lily, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Leo shot up, slamming the table. Mr. Shaw Sr. frowned deeply at me. Lily, that request is a bit much. Too much. I uncrossed my legs. Then Leo here is even worse. Leo, do you remember what you said? Asking me to be your side piece? You dared to say those words back then. Is it so hard for you to kneel now? He froze, glanced at his grandfather, and hung his head even lower. Mr. Shaw Sr. glared at him, then stood up, hit Leo on the backside with his cane and sighed. It seems there's been a misunderstanding. Since you're unwilling, Lily, I won't force you. As for my grandson, I apologize on his behalf. I will discipline him. Leo followed his grandfather out, looking dejected. I never saw them again. Before I left for college, I heard news about my sister from a classmate. On her birthday, she died suddenly from a heart attack. When I heard the news, a jolt went through my body. I instinctively looked at the jade bracelets on my wrist and decided to visit Mr. Evans. The spiritual center was still bustling with people. I felt a wave of emotion, thinking how in just 1 year, my family had fallen apart, and I was all alone. "Miss Lynn, are you here to see Mr. Evans?" I nodded at the attendant. He led me into an inner room. The scent of tea filled the air. Mr. Evans, his waterfall of white hair cascading over his shoulders, sat on a cushion and smiled at me. The scene looked like a painting. "You've come." His voice was clear, like spring water soothing the soul. Suddenly, a memory flooded my mind. I clutched my head. "Help me! Help me!" The pleas echoed in my head. It was my own voice. In that instant, I understood everything. Last time, after being buried deep in the ground, I hadn't died immediately. While I still had a breath left, someone saved me. It was Mr. Evans. I reached out to him, begging, "Help me, Mr. Evans." He smiled softly. "Save you? I can. But we need to make a deal." His alluring voice seeped into my mind. "You must offer your soul to me, for all eternity." I gasped for breath, looking at the man before me, a smiling tiger, and felt a deep fear. He narrowed his eyes. A jade bracelet fell to the floor and shattered. I heard him say softly, "Lily, it's time. Fulfill your promise. Now offer up your soul." The end.